Now this is something which you are quite familiar with from your previous year classes. There are two different classifications of surveying. You have plane surveying and the other is called geodetic survey. So can you just tell me some differences or what is plane survey and what is geodetic survey? Just try to recollect what you learned last year.
Ma'am, in plane surveying, we will not consider the effect of the spherical nature of Earth. In geodetic surveying, we will consider that.
What do you mean by spherical nature here?
Ma'am, if we have 2 points, on the Earth that you are surveying, so in plane surveying, we will consider it as a straight line. But in geodetic surveying, it will be part of the circle passing through that 2 points, the greater circle.
Okay, fine. Right. So this is what, as you had mentioned, it's the spherical surface. We call it as curvature. So that word you should be very clear. It's not like a spherical. You can't use colloquial words like spherical surface and all that. It means that the curvature of the Earth is not taken into account. So when you mean curvature of the Earth is not taken into account, it means that the distance between 2 points that you measure will be small. Like what I'm trying to say is, you have point A, you have point B. A will be visible from B and B will be visible from A. So this distance is very small. It's almost like a straight line. Then we call that as plane survey. So that means the curvature of the Earth is not taken into account. It's carried out in a very small area so that the surface of the Earth will be plane. So it will be a plane surface. And the degree of accuracy that is required for this kind of survey will be low. Next is if you have 3 points A, B and C. The lines that connect these 3 points will be straight plane lines. That's why it is considered as a plane. And the area that comes within that triangle should be less than 195 kilometer square. That's called plane survey. Right. Now can you just give me some examples of plane surveying that you have come across?
Chain surveying.
Okay. Then?
Plane table, ma'am.
Plane table, huh? Okay. Those are all equipments. See, you're talking chain surveying, you're saying a plane table and all that. But just give me some examples where you think that these equipments can be used.
Surveying of a house, like maybe for construction.
Surveying of a house, very good. Okay, surveying of a house. It's a very small distance, straight lines, and it's defined. So that is one thing. Okay, then what about the length and dimensions of a section of a road? What do you think? What type of surveying would it be? You have a stretch of a road. You have to find out the length and width of the road. What type of surveying? Will it be plane surveying or will it be geodetic surveying?
Geodetic.
Okay, when I say stretch of a road, what will be the distance of one stretch? You all have been in the campus, right? At least once. One semester you were here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
On the roads here, is it so long that you need geodetic survey?
No, ma'am, we need plane surveying.
You must say plane survey. The curvature of the Earth will not come there. You can actually see at least your partner on the other side of the road will be a small speck. That's all. But still, they are visible, right? So finding out the length of the road, dimensions of the road, or a section. That's why I said section of a road. I'm not saying the entire stretch of the road. I'm saying a section of a road. That section of the road will be, what do you say, it will be plain survey. Okay, what about the area of a plot of land? Is it plain or is it geodetic?
Plain surveying.
Plain survey. Plot of land is it's basically a dimension, small dimension area, and you can do it using your chain survey, plane table, then compass survey, theodolite, all those things. It is possible to do so. So this is plain survey, and the methods that you have learned in your previous surveying classes pertains to plain survey, right? Coming to geodetic surveying. So geodetic surveying is where you have the curvature coming into place. So when curvature has to come in place, the distance should be very, very large. Right. Have you ever seen the curvature of the earth bending somewhere? In real life? Forget about surveying. Where does the earth bend?
At sea,
Huh?
ocean.
See, at the sea horizon, okay, so you can see that after a certain distance, no, not certain, it's a long distance, you will see that the earth bends. So that's where your curvature is happening. That's usually we call it as the horizon, right? And the distance is long. From when you're looking from the beach, you feel that the distance is small, but that's not the case. The kilometers and kilometers stretch of the beach or the ocean or the sea, and then you see a curve. So this curve causes the dimension of the distance to bend, isn't it? See, what is happening is, this is your curve, and when you are measuring the distance, it has to be the curve distance. However, whatever equipments that you are having cannot measure this curved one, it will only measure this straight one. Thus, you have to sit and correct all that. So, this is one. Geodetic surveying involves a lot of mathematical equation. It is not direct. Everything is mathematical equation. You have to do a lot of corrections, and it involves a lot of work. Okay. Yeah. It's extended over a large area greater than 195 kilometers square. And the 1 minute, okay, just hold on. So the line joining where did I go? Yeah. So it's extended over a large area which is greater than 195 kilometers square. And when you have 3 points, so this is your AB, the distance would be a curved distance. And you have 3 points A, B, C. The distance that is measured will be spherical distance. It will be curved like this. Now, please bear with my drawing. This will be a curved distance. And measuring this curved distance requires special equipment, special mathematical equations, all those purposes. Right? Okay. So you require very defined methods and instruments for this kind of surveying. Your normal chain surveying, compass surveying, plane table, all those will not work here. You need sophisticated, high precision equipments. Right? Okay. Now, can you just think of some examples where geodetic surveying could be in use?
Earth
Measuring
observation.
area of a country
Area of a country, okay.
or
Then
like
somebody else.
sea level, like survey
Okay,
of a
sea
sea,
level.
like how nautical means.
Survey of the sea, yes. Then I think somebody else was also
In the
answering.
establishment of new control points.
Sorry.
In the
Okay.
establishment of new control point in the country.
Establishment of new control points in the country. Okay. What about girls? I'm not getting any responses from girls. You. Yeah. Keep the chat box open. You can answer in the chat box. But I want responses. Examples of plane surveying that you've already given. Geodetic survey. It's always better more interactive, otherwise it gets very boring. You have to start thinking out of the box and think, because see, these things that you learn in your college are just fundamentals, and what you learn is not necessary that it will be applied when you go to a practical field. Practical is entirely different from theoretical. We'll give you an idea, but then you have to understand that fundamental and apply it somewhere in the actual field. So let's just start thinking in that angle. How do you think these equipments or these methods are going to be useful in real practical life? Somebody mentioned, okay, you are going to study the ocean. Someone mentioned the plotting of the country. Okay, then airway route. Yes, very good. Making maps. Yes. Then areas of villages, states, particular large areas. Okay.
Satellite
Then
imaging.
satellite.
Imaging.
Satellite imaging, yes, remote sensing, all those things come under these kind of things. Any other examples that you can think of?
Mineral
Very long
estimation, ma'am.
roadways.
Minerals.
Mineral.
Very long roadway connections.
Very long?
Roadway connections, like between two countries or many countries.
Very
GPS.
GPS, yes, very good, very good. Okay. So these are all geodetic examples. Now you see, now when you are coming up with all these examples, what is that thing that is changed in this application? See, when you did plane surveying, the very first thing when we were speaking about plane surveying, you said chain survey. You came to plane table, right? And then I asked you to think of examples on that. So the first thing that came in your mind was the equipment, and then when we changed it, it came to the example. Now here I am asking you to give you examples. Now you've given me examples. Can you think of the equipment? 2-3 of you have already told also the. What is the equipment that we are using to get these things?
Satellites.
Some satellite. You said GPS. Theodolites, yes, theodolites are advanced, but they are not used to extend like you're mentioning over here, air, road, making maps and all. You cannot use theodolites, but yes, theodolite forms the basis for many formulae. It's used, but now currently we don't use theodolites for these kind of purposes, but then yes. So now what I'm trying to say is, when you jump from one stream of surveying to the other stream, you're seeing advancement in the fundamental, advancement in the way the thing is taken, advancement in the accuracy, and also advancement in the type of equipment that you use. Okay. So basically, surveying 1 or the surveying that you learned forms the fundamental of your surveying, so that you can understand what surveying is. As and when you go, the techniques would change, the methods will change, and the practical application of it comes into picture. Okay, so in geodetic surveying, you will be learning slightly advanced than what you learn in the plane. Then when you come to your next semester, I guess in the 6th semester, there is 2 electives that are offered for you. One is advanced surveying and the other one is remote sensing and GIS, which again is a extension to this geodetic surveying course. There, advanced surveying is you will have exposure to all the other advanced equipments, electronic equipments that is used in the field. And remote sensing GIS would be the satellite imagery, how that can be used for some application studies. These are the other 2 electives that should be offered in the next year. And then there's one honor subject also, which is offered, I guess, in the 6th or 8th semester. I'm not very sure. But those kind of things are there that you just keep it in mind. Okay. So have you understood what I'm trying to say? From plane, you have now immersed into geodetic, and in the geodetic, you will come across slightly advanced methods. Then one more thing. The plane surveying was mostly direct. I hope you know what is direct and indirect. What is direct and indirect? What is direct? Direct surveying?
No obstacles involved.
Sorry?
There won't be intermediate points.
No obstacles.
No obstacle. Huh?
Directly going to field and measuring.
Direct surveying
Okay.
doesn't involve mathematical equations, whereas in indirect surveying, you will have to use mathematical equations to come to the conclusion and answer.
Okay, good, Apurva. Okay. So direct is you go to the field with the equipment, take the measurement, the equipment will directly give you the answer then and there on the field. Like you take the chain will give you the distance then and there. You go with the theodolite will give you the angle then and there. Then you have plane table, you plot it, you get the plot then and there. So that is called direct, right? So there's no mathematical calculation involved. Everything is direct. Indirect observations are you make use of some readings that you take on the field, create some mathematical equation and then get the answer. So that's called indirect observation. Geodetic will mostly rely on these indirect observations. So you take measurements, put it in some calculation or create your own algorithm and come out with the result. Main aim is get accurate results. So that's what is called geodetic survey. And this entire semester would rely on, you will have only geodetic survey. Okay. So what are the various things that you will be learning? You have learned this last year. I think the previous class we were mentioning, you have triangulation, which is again a geodetic method, trigonometric leveling, curve setting, different types of errors and reference surfaces. So this is how the 5 different things have been set up, and we'll be learning curve setting in the initial few classes. I hope it is course plan. This is what I have decided. We had a discussion of it last time also. So you will have a mid-semester exam which will be week 13. Now week 13 will be October 18th to 22nd. So between that period, that's week 13 for me. Okay, sometime in the month of between October 18th to 22nd. This is October 18th to 22nd, somewhere that period. Then, the mid-semester quiz will also be at the same time, October 18 to 22nd. Somewhere during that time period, we'll set it up in the evening and then we'll have the exam. Tutorials, you will have it immediately after each unit. There will be 4 tutorials of 30 marks. So this is what we have decided. Then, there will be compensation assessment provided you have certain genuine reasons. Last year, somehow that all of you were present from section B, so I didn't have any issue. Try to keep it also this time. Compensation assessment, try to avoid, because compensation assessment means you'll have to study the entire thing. So that is something which we have planned for 18 to 19. Okay. And end semester exam, as per your institute norms, the compensation exam, not compensation, the final assessment starts from December 2nd. December 2nd all the way to December 10th. Here the timetable will not be decided by us. That will be given by the academic office. All the flexibility is only in the mid-sem. We can go here and there. but final assessment, which will be defined by the academic office. It doesn't come in our purview. Right. So the final assessment and the end semester will be together. Last year, I don't know about section A, but section B, we had one exam quiz in the morning. So the 10 to 12 was the exam. We conducted, I think, at 9 to 9:15 or so, one quiz. And immediately after that, at 10 o'clock, you had your final exam. So that's how the pattern is. Have you understood? So please note this thing down. Once the course plan is ready, I'll pass on the course plan to your class rep, and the class rep will formally. But anyway, the course plan is important only for this examination. So please note this thing down, what we are planning to have, and try to please be punctual. Tutorial, I'll have for tutorial. Like I said, it has to be done in the class, isn't it? So you will come online, you will download the question paper and then submit it in the end of the class. You cannot be absent for the tutorial. I will not give any compensation for tutorial classes until and unless I feel that it is genuine enough to give out so. Some students may not feel well. Last year there were certain students who were affected by COVID. So those things and all we will take into consideration. Network issues and all that will not be taken into consideration. Because nowadays I think all of you must have really tackled that situation for the past 1.5 years. Really genuine cases, of course, I'll take into consideration. But just like that, telling that okay, this thing happened, that thing happened, try to be more punctual. I know everybody has issues. I'm not pretty harsh enough not to allow the people not to write and all that. But then the case has to be genuine enough. That's what I'm saying. And there were certain cases where students were not responding, and then we asked the students to submit in the end. And some of them did it also. One or two did not do, but then we kept on asking. I think Abhishek knows that very well, how we tried to get hold of the students, isn't it? So just try not to create that kind of a scenario at the end. Be more punctual, be available in all the tutorial classes, and the tutorial classes will be decided at least a week in advance. So that breather will be given to you. That's saying that okay, we are going to have the tutorial so and so. You fix up the date. I am not going to fix up the date. You can fix up the date. I will tell you I'm planning to have it. You give me the timing. It can be during classes. It can be in the evening. It's up to you. I don't have any problem. Fine. So this is how I am planning to have the course plan. I hope there are no doubts regarding this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to give you an intro about your plane table and geodetic surveying. That day we did not get a chance to say all this because I didn't have the material at that time. But this is what we have planned, right? And from tomorrow I'll start with curves, simple curves. What are the different types of curves? And first is simple curves. Then we have many other types of curves. It will take a lot of time. So all of you, whenever you're coming for surveying classes, please come with a calculator. Calculator should be available with you because this involves a lot of mathematical calculations. Small, big and all that. So please have your calci with you. And please be available also because many of the things are very elaborately given in the textbook. You don't need to really go through all that. And problems, as last year itself, we'll be solving it in the classroom. I will project the questions to you and we will do it then and there. If you have any doubts then and there, you will clear. And you will have a tutorial also where you will have more number of questions. So you will have an idea of what variety of questions you will get for your examination on what you really need to learn. There are certain things you need not know. A lot of things in the textbook which may not be necessary. So we will touch in only what is necessary for you. Okay, I hope things are clear. Any doubts?
No,
108. Very good. Nice attendance. Please be like this, then all of us will be very happy. 108. Not bad. down the written. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow. There was a certain confusion I had with the class today. So tomorrow